I want to go through just a couple of things because I think it'll resonate with a lot of you out there in terms of how you can access a more effortless swing and recognise the swing weight. Because often we're swinging and we don't really have that much awareness for what's happening. A lesson that I did today with Chris, scratch golfer, even a scratch golfer was experiencing very new feelings in terms of body movement, release pattern with the golf club, feeling just essentially how the club's squaring up to the ball. It was how he was using the ground that was affecting, or how he wasn't using the ground, that was affecting how he released the club. So his release adapted to his lack of use of the ground, and therefore he'd become so dependent on timing this release, and the release was so early that there was no need for him to use the ground in a really explosive way. It would have probably caused more problems. And I want to go through one of the main exercises that we did, and it's the lateral force. It's braking forces. We can all swing the golf club this way. Okay, we can all create this kind of pendulum action. But the golf swing's not truly a pendulum action. What we actually need to do is we need to introduce lateral so that we can increase the momentum. Because if I just use this pendulum action and stay centered and just rotate, I can generate some speed, but I'm having to put a lot of effort in. And we've got body mass to use. And when we move body mass, we create momentum. But we've got to accelerate the body mass to create more momentum. But we've also got to very quickly decelerate. We've got to stop the body from moving to transfer that momentum. So, for example, in Chris's situation, he was creating a lot of the momentum with his upper body and his arms. And therefore, there was a lot of movement going on, and he had to stay quite still to use it. So it was actually affecting him using his body. Just to get him to move side to side was quite a big step for him. And that's what I want to talk about, side-to-side movement. Because the golf swing's not just a rotation like this, there's a lateral component to it. And suddenly now, we can accelerate the golf club, and as soon as we stop this, it swings. And if I change direction quickly, I create lag, and I actually get more momentum, but more importantly, I can sense where I'm directing the golf club. Because the butt end of the club is leading, we can direct it. We've got more directional control. And then if I change direction very quickly, I get all that extra swing for free. I don't have to try and physically put the effort in to swing. We can just change direction, but if we let go of the swing weight, completing the swing, the backswing, it's naturally changing direction because we're shifting back to the target. So the golf club follows us, and we've created lag. All we've got to do is recognise how we change direction and what it feels like to actually let the swing weight go. And then not only do we have to change direction to create that swing and lag, but we've got to stop again to let it go. And it's the braking action that actually lets you use this momentum. So how can we sense this braking force? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is use a step drill. We're going to step, swing, starting with your feet together and just using your trail hand. We're going to take a step with our trail foot. But before we do it, we're just going to get the club swinging. Back and forth, just effortlessly with the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder. Look, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of swing for relatively little movement of the body. What I often see in an effort to move the golf club is an overuse of the arm because we're so used to using tension and trying to control the swing. Instead of just letting the club head swing, just trust the swing up and down. So feeling the swing weight fall and the wrist snap at the bottom on the way back and snap through. And what we're going to do now with this half swing is we're going to just increase the momentum, but we're going to take a step back. But we're going to do it when the club's swinging forward. So as soon as we feel the club swing forward, we take a step back and we throw it back. And we can feel how this lateral force puts the brakes on. This step allows us to create some stability. And just getting a feel for this. Freewheeling action. So what it shouldn't be is together. You might find this happens at first where your timing feels really tricky. And it's like, oh, I can't really do it. I can't start my club moves when I want to move my foot. just get the club swinging, and as soon as you feel the club swing forward, take the step back, and then you can throw it back. Now, you'll notice that I'm also going up and down, and this is something I want you to explore now. This is a big element of the drop and pop. We're training the ankle, the knee, and the hip, and we're feeling it through the foot. We're feeling the pressure through the foot. And just think of the trail leg as a piston, and all we're going to do is just drop and pop. We're going to flex. It's like a little jump. So we're just going to spring. We drop. So as we take the step, it's only a small step, by the way, and we just drop. And then we pop, just going straight up. So notice I'm facing forward because we're separating planes of motion here. What we don't want to do is twist with it. So this is not a golf swing. It's not a swing around the body. We're not using rotation of the hips and body and swinging it around here. It's side to side, like a swing, just side to side, up and down. And then take the step. And then pop up, and you'll feel the club, you'll feel the snap of the wrist react, and it just throws the weight of the club up. Okay, now we're going to change direction. We're going to put it in our lead hand. If you love the coaching and want to experience the effects of the training that you see with our pupils, you can purchase the GRFI system yourself by following the link in the video description. You'll get all the equipment and a 2-hour download covering all the fundamentals, exploring your movement and how you can use the ground and create those all-important ground reaction forces and transfer them through to club head speed and experience the gains that you're seeing in the videos. Start with our feet together, and now we're going to go lead side. Just get swinging, and it's just the opposite. So as we swing the club back, we take a step and spring up. First of all, just get a nice freewheeling action with the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, let the arm just leave the body. And we're not trying to turn to the target. The big mistake I see here is that people try doing too much. We're so used to swinging to the target and rotating, they're used to doing all the work with the body, and they find it really difficult here. They're overusing the body here. We just need to feel that drop and then spring. Be careful of your expensive chandeliers, the ceiling. If you've got a low ceiling, I suggest you grip it a bit lower down because the swing radius with your lead arm is much greater. So just be careful of the ceiling if you're indoors. And let this club rotate. Let it open, let it close. And then just start to get active with the lead side. As soon as the club starts to swing back here, now you'll feel that momentum and you're going to react by going that way and dropping and springing. Now this is quite a leap of faith because I'm dropping, I'm allowing my body to also shift with it. There's a lateral drop. It's just a lateral drop to there, and then just a spring off the floor. Now we're going to put both hands on the club and we're going to do the two combined. Drop, pop, drop, pop. So it's step, swing, but it's really more of a drop and pop, swing, drop and pop, swing. And there's so much time afforded to us when we time this movement. So once you've got a feel for this, it's a case of, well, now the ball's there, how do I trigger this before I actually swing? So a little shift forward first. Little shift. And what that's doing, that's taking the role of the swing forward. We've got this momentum forward, and now we can react. The same thing here. A little bit of momentum forward. Now we can't swing the club head, or we're going to hit the ball probably, and we're not going to swing it over the ball to hit it. So we move our body mass. Just a little shift. And look, suddenly you've got a reaction. So if I move my centre of rotation here, side to side, I'm creating some reaction here. And what's moving this is the interaction with the feet and the ground here, using my legs. Let your hands move forward, let the butt end of the club move forward. Encourage a natural flow. So having a little waggle. And what I suggest when you waggle is that the butt end goes forward, club head goes back. Not this, where the butt end stays fairly static and now you're flicking, you're throwing the club head back. Even picking the club up and making that clockwise action, you're creating an awareness for that torque, a feel for this natural slingshot. And it's this slingshot that can react now So the braking forces, taking tension off the wrists, switches the feet and the ankles on. And now it starts to enable us to trigger it from the ground. This is where the origin of the sequence is. And we're just getting used to it. I suggest having a few swings first with the step, swing, to get a feel for the flow. Just playing a few shots with the ball. And just letting yourself swing. And just having a bit of fun with it, really. And then from there, where do we go next? Well, we've got to do it from a normal kind of address position. Have a waggle, take your stance, and now, as I mentioned, little shift forward. This little shift forward, this little counter move now allows you to then push back, push up, use the drop pop, drop pop, drop pop, drop pop. It's a bit of a process whereby you start to let yourself go first, and it might be a bit excessive. Don't worry, because as soon as you start to do it, you quickly attune yourself and start to shift quicker from side to side, which stabilises you and actually transfers more momentum to the club. Explore the freedom of motion first and take the leap of faith. Allow your body weight to shift, almost fall from one side to the other. You can see here the step with the push, the drop and pop, throws the body weight back. We've got separation, we've got a sequence, we've got a stretch being created naturally. And then you can pop, that throws you back. But because the club is accelerating, the forces balance themselves out and you remain centred in a nice balanced finish. So with the ball now, normal stance, and we're just going to have a little rock forward, a little shift forward. Drop and pop, drop and pop. And I felt a bit of tension there with the arms, so I'm going to let myself go a little bit more. Just through hitting shots, doing the exercises, you become more aware and you let go. Just let your body weight transfer from side to side. Because these braking forces, they're going to stabilise you. And that was the best one. So it took me, 3, 4, 5 shots to suddenly start to get a bit of a feel for it. And that felt nice, that last shot. Way better flight, but I'm not really getting hung up on the shot. It was nice and I enjoyed it, and the other shots were a little bit wayward. It's a journey. Be aware of your waggle. Step, swing, using the drop and pop. Drop and pop, drop and pop. And a nice balanced finish. Let the club continue into a finish. And then play a few shots using the exercise. And then go to a normal stance and start to allow yourself to shift forward and back and go with the flow. So guys, I hope that's helped. It certainly helped Chris in his lesson, and it opened up the opportunity to explore so much more. We got into greater detail in his movement, but just through exploring his movement vocabulary with exercises, because it's always about feeling, and to feel something we have to be doing it, we have to be experiencing it. So it's always a doing thing, not a thinking thing. Use the exercises, remove the inhibition in terms of trying to control things. Just go with the flow, see how you get on. Hit shots, don't expect it to be perfect, that shot. I've got the magic key, that's it works. Give yourself 10, 15, 20 shots. Just explore it and then start to recognise what's going on, refine it through your awareness. And that's how you're going to essentially train yourself into trusting it and letting it go and using that braking force to create that free-flowing, effortless swing using the swing weight. So guys, let me know how you get on. Drop your comments below. Try the exercises. I'd love to hear how it's going. Let me have your feedback. What would you like me to do future tutorials on to help you specifically with your needs and your game? And I'll see you in the next tutorial.